Serious Sam 4 rocks.
Listen, I know it's incredibly well documented how rough the game was when it launched just over a year ago. It wasn't done yet. That's undeniable. But Crow Team were on it pretty quickly with the patches, and by the time I first played it 2 months after release, I freaking loved it. Warts and all. So we should all know the SAM formula by now. It's pretty simple. Big environments, enormous waves of varied monsters, and a meaty arsenal of weapons to blast them with. SAM 4 has all those things, but throws into the mix a greater emphasis on storytelling, which was always going to be polarizing amongst the players.
Stand down. I'm not going to court-martial you for assaulting a superior officer.
The story itself is a prequel to Serious Sam 3. Sorry, I always gag when I mention that game. And that one was a prequel to the rest of the series, so I don't know what Crow Team's thing is with prequels at the moment, but hey, here we are.
They don't care about who we used to be or what we wanted to do. To them, we're just slaves. But if they thought this was gonna be easy, they came to the wrong fucking planet.
For the most part, I really enjoyed what I felt was a parody or pastiche of your Michael Bay summer schlockbusters. The ragtag bunch of military grunts, each with their own thing, the over-explained but ultimately meaningless MacGuffin they're chasing around the world, the borderline excruciating overuse of one-liners.
Same old crab.
SAM 4 simultaneously embraces and pokes fun at these tropes, and while the cutscenes are perhaps a little too frequent and awkwardly animated...
Sure was lucky that you came along.
Are her arms okay?
I found myself enjoying the silliness. This is set after Sam's become established as the hero of Earth, but before he goes to Egypt and is sent back in time. Sam himself has even been given a little more character here.
You don't like the Da Vinci Code, Sam?
Nah,
Why not? Some good theories in there.
no literary merit.
Playing against type. I like it. We do see him make a pretty untoward attempt to hit on a scientist, though.
Let me give you something for your trouble.
Like a kiss.
Humph. Men.
Hey, at least we know Sam has a type. It's a bit of a shame that, while the monsters and weapons all look incredible, the human characters, who we're forced to watch for minutes at a time, don't seem to have had the same attention. The game does a good job of endearing some of these characters to you.
Kenny, one-liner.
Abracadabra, lady.
See, you're getting the hang of it, kid.
I got so excited, my textures blurred up.
Be warned though, the game also has a George R.R. Martin-esque habit of killing these characters off. In fact, there's a kind of jarring insistence on hammering home the war is bad theme. Got audio logs reminiscing about the before times and the things people in the world took for granted. I don't know, it feels like it's trying to say perhaps a bit more than you'd expect from a game like this.
But it's up to us to make sure these countless tragedies aren't senseless.
This could be seen as an annoying attempt at being poignant, but I embraced it just enough to feel more of a hero in Sam's shoes. You'll likely love it or hate it, but I admit, I kinda dig it.
There's even a moment later in the game in which Sam and Hellfire talk about the possibilities of maybe going on a proper date once all this is over. I can't believe that I was actually kinda moved by it.
Kind of romantic, actually.
You think when this war is over, we can ever go on a real date? Like, without killing anyone?
I don't know.
Have we gotten too used to it?
Maybe if we just injure someone.
Sounds like a plan.
Plus, I kinda got something else going.
What can't be argued is that the arsenal here is seriously... I need to try not to say that. Incredibly beefy. All the old favourites are here, and most of them are in their best shape yet. You still have to reload the assault rifle, an unfortunate carryover from Serious Sam 3. Sorry. But the magazine size has been upped, and overall, it feels more Sammy, and less like it was carried over from some modern military game. The pump-action shotgun gets a grenade launcher attachment that is infinitely useful, and will mean you switch back to this weapon all the way through the campaign. The rocket launcher has a multi-rocket seeking attachment that is a godsend in the right situation, and the laser gun now has a beam alternate fire that unfortunately is given to you way too late, and you'll never have the ammo to use it as much as you want. The coach gun absolutely slaps. Every time I fire this thing, I feel the kick. When you upgrade Sam to wield 2 of them, whoa, we are redefining rock salt here. There's also, if you trek off the beaten path a bit, a heat-seeking rocket-propelled chainsaw launcher. So yeah, I mentioned upgrading Sam. That's a thing now. You earn skill points by breaking balls. These allow you to equip Sam with new abilities, some of which really should have been included anyway, such as firing and reloading while sprinting, and some really do add to the fun and tactics of the game. When you get to the point that you can equip a different weapon in each hand, you have a whole wealth of incredible firepower combos available. It does begin to suffer Wolfenstein New Colossus syndrome though, where weapon selection in the heat of battle can be super fiddly. Still, when you've got the minigun in one hand and the cannon in the other, that is peak Sam firepower. There's also a couple of mech sequences which, I don't know, they just didn't do it for me. The rockets take way too long to reload and you're just stuck in this slow moving thing watching yourself getting hit. I get that they wanted to add some variety, but I could have done without these. The enemies you're going to be blasting with this amazing arsenal are serious... No, not that. Bad, mad and numerous. Most of the old favourites are back, the wereballs, the kamikazes, the chicken walker things, and of course, the clear. Is it just me, or have these things always taken a tiny bit too much damage to kill for how many the game throws at you? It's ways of these guys that give me the Serious Sam lean. It's the only game that makes me do this when I play. There's some good new monsters too. I barely ever read Natriska, so I don't know what they're called. To misname a few, there's the Fire Fatty, the Psycho Freddies, the Not Cacodemons, and the Flappy Bat Boys.
It's a fucking vampire, Kenny!
The number of hit scanners from Serious Sam 3 has been reduced dramatically, and enemies from that travesty that could only be killed by explosives are now a little less restrictive. Overall, the combat in this game just feels good. Oh, and as for Jibs, well, I hope you like your salsa chunky. As for the visuals, individual elements like the weapons and enemies look really good, but I'd say that relative to the time each one came out, this game probably has the worst graphics of any Serious Sam game. A lot of the environments get a real pea soup effect at a distance, and there's just a general inconsistency to the quality of the modelling. Saying that, while they can be rough, I would take this game's colourful landscapes over Serious Sam 3's drab environments any day. There's also a fair amount of jank still left in this game.
And we sure could use a hand. Preferably one with a gun in it.
Yeah, I'll get to you in a moment. Just, dealing with something.
So, Serious Sam 4 is a fun ride. Parts of it are still pretty rough, but honestly, it's now one of my favourites in the series. And I think it's a great baseline for the series to move forward from.
Then we have Siberian Mayhem. Wow. I'm actually on a bit of a come down from having just finished this game today. It's a standalone expansion that Crow Team helped finish, but from what I understand was mostly made by a development team full of passionate Sam fans. It is beautiful. Just beautiful. There's still a bit of jank though. Hey! It's a side story that fleshes out Sam's little trek through Siberia and Russia from the first game and adds a whole lot more. This includes more insight into the guy that turned out to be the big bad in the first game and a new cast of great characters. The levels are thoughtfully put together and have terrific pacing, with the enormous battles you want broken up with bits of exploration and some light puzzle solving, most of which is optional but highly recommended.
All All right, time to lay some pipe. In a disappointingly literal way.
To fit the theme, the assault rifle is replaced with an AK-47 that... 50 bullets again? Don't worry, it's not Serious Sam 3 all over again. This thing reduces capacity, but I think it ups the power. Holding 2 of these in snowy Eastern European environments gave me It gave me GoldenEye vibes. Some of the environments, I must say particularly in the side missions, were really beautiful. One haunting example features a creepy girl in a run-down country shack that for a moment made me think I was playing Dusk again.
Kill him.
Another is an ice cavern where an epic optional boss battle takes place. Extra weapons are added in the form of an awesome electric crossbow, best sniper weapon in any Sam game, and the fire beam, which you'll use frequently once picked up. It's almost like an apology for being so stingy with the laser beam ammo in the vanilla campaign. There's some new enemies too, which I'll let you discover for yourself. I'm just going to show you my favourite. These towers launch rockets as you're approaching with big area effects that you can see to avoid. They have miniguns that you can shoot off, and then you have to wait for the back vent thing to open, revealing its incredibly obvious weak spot. Don't fire double cannons into it.
I've got balls of steel.
At the risk of a spoiler, this whole Siberian Mayhem campaign culminates in a boss fight that Serious Sam 4 teased, but never delivered on. It leaves you feeling, I'm gonna say it, seriously satisfied.
That felt really good.
So what's next for Sam? I don't know. I really hope it's not another frickin' prequel. I mean, I get it, Crow Team. Sam 2 was a bizarre, drug-fueled fever dream that you don't seem to want to follow on from, but hey, you split the timeline enough in this game that you can ignore it. But it's time to move forward now. Let's fight mental. Let's actually save the world.
So I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm a fan. If you've been on the fence since the mostly justified wave of negativity that came out just after launch, I'd say now's the time to give it a go. It's got blood, bullets, and heart.